Hey, Mikey.
It's Michael Brown.
You can try to find Michael Brown.
Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job.
This is the Michael Brown Show.
Hold on tight to your dream. Yeah. Hold on tight to your dream.
Hey, welcome back to the program. Happy Friday. It's now Hollywood in Toto. That means Christian Toto has stumbled again once into the office. He just into the studio. We keep trying to change studios, and you keep finding it. So, we're doing these Ask Michael Anythings on Fridays. Or anything you wanted to ask me?
Why?
I don't know.
Just a generic
sake,
why.
I don't know.
Well, that was quick. Welcome next time for Ask Michael Anything.
So you have a story up. By the way, if you want to follow Christian, follow him on Twitter at HollywoodandToto.com and over on his website, HollywoodandToto.com.
And if you're going to follow me, you might as well follow my tag team partner, Mr. Brown, at Michael Brown USA.
I was just waiting to see if you even knew what it was.
Oh, of course I know what it is. By the way, on Wednesday, I was retweeted by Ben Shapiro. That's kind of an intense thing. Because all of a sudden my mentions go, boop, crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
I was retweeted by Nick Searcy on Wednesday.
That'll do it too.
And Tamara and I were sitting at lunch, and I went,
Bing,
whoa.
bing.
I went, whoa. And she's like, what's going on? I said, Nick Searcy just retweeted me.
Uh-huh.
You're right. It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is, but it's a little scary to me because, I'm really low profile, I have to say. It's sad. I'm trying to be higher profile, but I'm really low profile in almost any...
Wait a minute, Angie, did you hear this conversation? I'm really low profile. I'm trying to be high profile, but then when I'm high profile, it's like I want to crawl back and be in my low profile.
That's kind of it, though.
It is.
Just the intensity of the responses. And, it wasn't that bad, and most people were very nice. I got a couple of quasi-kooky retweets back at me, but it's just like, I think it really takes a special kind of skin to be like a Ben Shapiro or a Nick Searcy, because that every day that is their usual life. That's what they do. And they get tons. I don't know how they weed out the mentions or they ignore them or what.
I think they have to ignore them.
Yeah.
Or
maybe they have like a person, like an assistant who just goes through them and combs them out. But it's just interesting just to see. I think the intensity is what I was like, whoa, wow. Okay.
I think for me, it inevitably brings out the people who want me to die, think I should be in jail, or that I'm the most incompetent.
Listen, I didn't say jail. I thought you should be maybe in a halfway house.
Well, I'm thinking of free food.
Ooh. 3 hots in a cot.
3 hots in a cot.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt, but it was weird.
What were you interrupting?
I don't know. I think you were launching to the show, and I just jumped in. I did a tangent.
Well, that's what we pay you for.
I know.
You're supposed to. In fact, you don't get it. But this is my hour to relax. This is my hour to goof off. This is why we call it Hollywood and Toto.
Is that why your feet are up on the table?
Yeah, exactly. That's why. Do we have any tequila yet? I swear I'm bringing in tequila next time.
I've never seen you dressed down, by the way. You're always very Natalie attired. I never see you with like a sweatshirt or like a t-shirt.
If I was an incompetent lefty, I would think Natalie was a nasty word. And how dare you call me Natalie attired? You racist, homophobe, xenophobe, misogynist. What am I leaving out? Ageist.
Did you say racist?
Racist, yeah. Oh,
okay.
That's the first one.
Racist, sexist, xenophobic. That clip from Hillary Clinton where she rattles off that list, I will never forget that. And I enjoy it all the more because she's not the president.
And she just continues.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my. The latest one I saw last week was she said in an interview that she actually thought about leaving the country after she lost.
I saw that. And, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she was being a little kind of cheeky with that comment. But I don't know. A lot of conservatives pounced on her on that comment. So I think at the end of the day, we are allowed to joke and go ha-ha. So I'm going to kind of let that one go by.
And she's wearing a back brace. Somebody took a picture of her with,
I saw that.
The back brace on.
Yeah, we can't ask about her health.
Right. So healthist. You can't be a healthist. You can't be a healthist.
Able-bodiedist?
Able-bodiedist? I don't know. Okay, so now remind me.
Okay.
Because I truly am. This is why I bring you on.
Okay.
Because I totally am completely ignorant. By the way, I want to say thank you again for bringing in Miss
Balaker. Courtney Moorhead Balaker.
Courtney Malhead Balaker for last week's interview about Little Pink House.
That was fun.
I hope it did some good.
I haven't checked the box office. It's been a week or so, at least in Denver. It's been about 2 weeks. national release, but limited, very
Right.
limited in scope. But I have to check on the box office, but I hope so too. It's
You and I
gonna-
never have a chance to decompress after we do these hours. And I thought not only was her story great about how, I mean, it was everything you and I've talked about. An indie film, raising the money, trying to find the right people to play this, and telling a story.
Doing it right.
Doing it right.
Yeah.
Everything, all of that. Plus the whole tug concept.
Yeah, you love that.
I cannot get it out of my head.
Tug.com.
Oh my gosh, it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's caught fire yet in a mainstream way, but I think it might. You
I
never
think
know.
it will. I think there will be. It's like everything else. It'll plod along for a while, and then something will click, and
Yeah.
boom, it'll just take off.
Yeah, I think it's a great concept. So,
Yeah.
and it's basically just a short version. You could basically vote to have a certain movie play in your neighborhood if it's not available there. You put some money aside, and if it doesn't happen, you get your money back. But if it does, you get enough people to rally to see a particular film, they will show it in your neighborhood.
It's almost like you get enough people to buy tickets, but their cards don't get charged until you get the requisite
Exactly.
number of people.
Yeah.
So whatever the threshold is, 50 people, 60 people, 100 people, and then boom, you got the movie
Yeah.
in your little town.
And again, Denver's very lucky. The greater Denver area, a lot of good theaters here, but not every town. I mean, there's a lot of small towns in America where they don't have access to movies like Little Pink House, and it's a shame.
You know what you and I should do?
Uh-oh.
No, you.
Besides travel to
I
New
know
York
this,
and
this always scares you. I know. Besides, we should go to, and someday it's going to happen.
it's going to happen.
It is going to happen, and
Yes.
you're going to, and both of our wives are going to be like, they're
We've lost them.
that will be at the point that our wives will probably meet.
Oh,
I think, because at that point they will be either looking for a mutual divorce attorney or a mutual hitman or
Ooh,
something,
or both.
or both, or
Yeah.
exactly both. I think next time we find a small film that we think is worth conservatives,
Sure.
libertarians seeing,
We should. Oh, yes, and host a screening. Absolutely. All right, it's on my
you
radar.
read my mind.
I did.
That's
scary.
Scary, isn't it?
Ooh, all right.
Don't look around at anything else in there. Do not look.
I'm not
do
going to poke around that
Yeah,
corner.
that's right. Do not look around the corner. All right. So I have a stupid thing because
Okay.
we want to talk about Alyssa Milano.
Yes.
You've got a great story on HollywoodandToto.com. Hollywood hypocrite. Oh, I'm shocked. A Hollywood hypocrite. Alyssa Milano's disastrous NRA video. Remind me again, because who she is.
She was on Who's the Boss as a teen actress. And then she was also in Charmed, a long-running show, which was not a massive hit, but it went on for seasons and seasons. So, she's
missed
been
all
sort of
those
in the
seasons and
Hollywood
seasons.
ecosystem.
Okay.
She's done a lot of work.
All right.
And now she's really focused on her activism, specifically about gun rights and
Okay.
more
Well, you
gun
have-
legislation.
You glossed over that very well, and
Okay.
you didn't mention anything that I remotely
Okay.
saw or followed or heard.
But she's been active in Hollywood for quite some time.
All right.
And she's a very attractive woman, and she's a fine
I know
actress.
one other Alyssa, and she works for a PR firm in New York. And that's it.
Okay, that's not her.
Okay.
Anyway, so she's been very vocal on Twitter. I think she's got a pretty robust following at this point, talking about she wants more gun control. And she recently joined a group with a bunch of other celebrities called NoRA.
Oh, I mentioned in no NRA earlier this week. I didn't realize she was a part of that.
Yes.
I read their manifesto.
It was kind of angry. And that's what I want to talk about
It was
here,
hilarious.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good.
So now she was Saturday was the NRA convention in Dallas, and she was there with a NoRA protest. And she met with some people from the NRA, including some people with cameras. And that's where the clip that you're gonna listen to comes from. So she's protesting the NRA. She's protesting, and I think she wanted Vice President Pence not to speak there. That was just part of her agenda. And so a camera person with the NRA TV crew met her, and they had this exchange.
Did you know that Mike Pence swore in America's first gay ambassador to Germany?
Is that a historic, by the way? Because usually when either
I don't
a gay person or a woman or a person of color gets a big assignment, it's like historic, blah, blah, blah. We didn't hear that narrative.
It's historic because Mike Pence
Oh, yeah,
was in the same
I know.
room with a gay man.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether Mrs. Pence was there or not, but I'm sure the Secret Service was there. So Richard Grenell had never had a chance to make the moves onto the vice president. Because they all do.
Yes, that's what they do.
Yeah, okay.
I love my boots broken. I love my camo hat. Don't mind a little paint on my jeans. Yeah, I roll like that. I
That's kind of how I'm dressed today, too.
What's that?
That's kind of how I'm dressed. I got paint on my jeans.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, my cowboy hat. I got everything. All right. So welcome back to Hollywood in Total on the Michael Brown Show. Christian brought in a clip tonight. Physically brought one in.
That's right.
Fascinating.
In a wheelbarrow.
I don't know what to do with it.
That's right.
Angie,
reel to reel.
Angie, how do you plug this in?
Hold up to the light. Wait,
all right. So real quickly, Alyssa Milano, that I know nothing about, other than she's apparently a part of that group, NoRA, which I made fun of earlier in the week. Bingo.
Yep.
What else do we know?
This is an exchange between a NRA member with the camera crew at his back and Alyssa Milano, and they're having a discussion about, what to do with gun legislation in the country.
Oh, this ought to be just awful.
Yeah, and I have to add some descriptions here. Maybe this is
good.
I'll
tell you what, you give me the sign, and there's a pause button here, and I'll hit the pause button.
Nice. Before you even start, just one quick thing. She's got bodyguards there. This is one very sort of burly black gentleman who's right there, and it appears that she has one or two others as well.
And I bet they have guns.
You've been paying attention, haven't you?
No, I haven't. You ready?
Yep.
You already told him that he's going back.
Hey, I'm leaving. How far do I have to go before
I need you on the sidewalk. Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's the bodyguard telling the NRA person he needs to back away, back away. Now, has this person threatened Alyssa Milano? Is this an event where a bodyguard is empowered to do what he's doing? I mean, it's a public space. It's a protest. Why is this person telling them? You're more of a legal expert than I am. What's going on here? Why? How does a bodyguard say you need to move back, move back? What empowers that person to have that happen?
He had BO, and they didn't. They didn't.
I meant legally.
He's a commoner, and you don't want the commoners to get near the elites.
And
you've never read that statute, have you?
I have not.
You got to keep the elites and the commoners apart.
What's amazing? Listen, Alyssa Milano is a petite woman. So I understand that maybe in anywhere she goes, she maybe will feel a little bit intimidated potentially. But she's got other people there, other people with her organization, the NoRA.
That's hilarious.
She's got a huge bodyguard there. I mean, that is like the cliche of all cliches about the Hollywood elite.
She doesn't want to be touched.
Who's going to touch her? I mean, does she assume that NRA people are just monsters? They're just regular folk?
Here's what I find funny, and this is all speculation on my part. She doesn't want to be touched, particularly by those people.
Yeah.
But if she were coming out of some muckety-muck, Hollywood...
Like a red carpet affair.
A red carpet affair, she would love for people
yes.
of her own ilk to come up and touch her.
She would pause for pictures.
They could do that thing where they put their cheek up to each other and somebody kisses it.
That's a great point, though, really. Because, I mean, if you see her on the red carpet, guarantee this large gentleman is not there.
Yep.
Hypocrite! Alyssa, you're a hypocrite.
But you are armed.
You have armed security here.
You are armed.
You have armed security here.
I have no problem with Hi, Will. I'm Alyssa. I have no problem with NRA members that are lawful that have guns. Zero problem with that. Actually, in my household, my husband has 2 guns. So don't call me a hypocrite. Law-abiding citizens.
My daughter was. Just let me make it clear, because I'm.
Okay, now I think what's happening at this point is there's another person with her group, and he's a father who lost a child to gun violence in schools, and he's going to make a pretty impassioned, pretty tough speech to the NRA member. Just going to give you what's going on visually here. So,
okay. I'm not aware of any NRA members who have engaged in like mass shootings or school shootings.
No, it hasn't happened. Imagine if that happened.
Yeah.
It would be the news story of all news stories.
Well, in fact, it doesn't surprise me that someone deliberately hasn't gone out that knows what they're doing and gotten an NRA membership.
Oh my! That's nefarious.
Oh,
but I mean,
you think I haven't thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, this is often these acts are premeditated. So
the good thing is they're premeditated, but they're usually backcrap crazy, and they can't think beyond just the killing.
Yeah, and I think they're thinking more about their mania as opposed to how to frame it from a media point of view.
Right.
I think Alyssa Milano was talking.
Can I talk to you?
My daughter was killed February 14th while at school.
I'm very sorry.
No, you're not. So that's a hypocritical comment. No, you don't give a crap.
I'm a parent.
So
you
don't want to talk. So here's the deal. I'm not a hypocrite. I am here to make sure we get common sense gun safety laws. And guess what, guys? We're not going to stop.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Alyssa
Milano was talking to him. This guy came in and interrupted.
So hold on. I'm going to ask you to leave in just a second.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, that's the bodyguard reintroducing himself and asking this person to leave. Why? Now, what I mentioned in my story, which I want to mention here, is that Alyssa Milano was in a very tough spot with that father. The father lost a child. He is grieving. It's really, I can't even get in that headspace. It's so awful. I certainly don't think that Alyssa Milano should have said, "Hey, buddy, be quiet. I want to speak."
Yeah.
Wildly inappropriate. But what Alyssa Milano can do is say, "Excuse me, Mr. Bodyguard, can you step aside? I'm having a rational conversation. I want to engage with people and share my ideas." She didn't do that. She was A-okay with this guy bullying people hither and yon.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, let's just let her.
I have no problem with NRA members. I have no problem with people that are lawful that have guns. My problem is with the gun lobby and the fact that they buy off our politicians.
But now I have to stop.
I know. I was gonna give you the high sign too.
I
Yeah.
have to stop.
I mean, how many times has it been debunked? This whole that the NRA has so rich, has so much money that they just buy off politicians. I mean, there are so many other sources
on the list of top givers. They're like way down. They're not even in the top 20.
Yeah. Oh.
So you've got the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees. You've got George Soros. You've got the AFL-CIO. You've got the American Federation of Teachers. I mean, and why is it always that those people who give money are never accused of buying off left of center politicians?
Right, they're never in the pocket.
Right, it's only the other way around.
Yeah,
it's so intellectually vapid.
Well, that's the kind of thing. If she pops up on NRA TV and she spouts that talking point, it will be destroyed, which is why I don't think she's going to be. I mean, maybe she'll prove me wrong, and good for her if she does. But that's why she can't go on those shows.
Right.
She can't have that kind of back and forth because that particular talking point will be destroyed.
Because when I think about, I did a story this week about George Soros putting millions of dollars into district attorney races all over the country.
Yeah, I heard that.
Now, wait a minute. That's okay.
Yeah.
But
Perfectly
it's not
fine.
okay for the
Not a story.
NRA to make a $5,000 contribution to someone's campaign PAC.
Yep.
Which prevent
Do you feel
all
that
of
way
us.
about Planned Parenthood and liberal?
May I finish?
Sure.
Which prevent all of us from being.
You know, the NRA member was
about to go there, yeah.
But he was respectful. She said, he's like, okay, well, hold on.
It gets more interesting. Keep
Safer. And 80% of Americans, 80% want sensible gun reform. And
your
that's all I'm
organization
asking
is a group
and
of like-minded
people.
people.
So well. I wish you well.
Okay, thank
and I
you.
wish
But this is a group of.
This will take us the rest of the day. So back to the 80%.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think 80% of Americans are in favor of eating healthy.
That's right.
Do you know that 80% of Americans want crime to stop? Do you know 80% of Americans want clean air and clean water?
And common sense gun. I mean, the whole common sense gun legislation, what does that mean? It's just, I mean, get specific. Let's go beyond that.
Well, there's no need to because it's common sense.
That's right. Make it 90%.
You know, probably 90%. Probably 90% of Americans do want to eat healthy.
Yeah. By the way, she's going to play the victim card next.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
You're listening to The Michael Brown Show.
We went together, decided it should be forever.
We are
Two paychecks were better than one.
2/3 of the way through this clip.
Yeah.
And my takeaway is Alyssa Milano truly is an airhead.
Well, I mean, we don't know for sure because we haven't seen her in a venue with a strong back and forth with tough but fair questions. Until I see her there, I'm not going to make a definitive call. What I see doesn't exactly inspire me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It is. This is one of them. Yeah.
Oh,
This is.
sorry. So she is talking to this one fellow from the NRA who brought his child there. And now Alyssa Milano has steered the conversation to the child, which is bizarre. Now she's being pleasant, but like you're having an intellectual discussion. Why do you go to the child who's a little kid? Again, not being mean, but like let's have it out. We're having a good exchange here. I mean, you think
she goes to the child?
What's that?
She goes to the dead child?
No, I'm sorry. There's a child there. So the NRA member who they're having this discussion back and forth, it's he and she. I guess his son is there. And so she starts addressing the child. It's like, hey, how are you? I'm Alyssa, blah, blah, blah. So that's where we are right now.
This isn't the one. Let's move on.
Okay.
You're a group of like-minded people coming together trying to influence people. That's what we do at the NRA.
That's less fossilized in their political views.
You seem very. So now you're not going to talk to me. You just wanted to.
Would you come on NRA TV and talk to us about that?
Being so incredible.
Is that Cam or is that someone else?
Now,
Someone just asked her to go on the
yeah, it
NRA
might be
TV.
someone else there. It's because it's part of a team. Can you back it up like 2 seconds? Because her comment here is fascinating.
Wanted to.
Would you come on NRA TV and talk to us about that?
Being so incredibly.
Did I not go far
No,
enough?
you just cut it off. You're being so incredibly.
Okay.
You seem very. So now you're not going to talk to me. You just wanted to.
Would you come on NRA TV and talk to us about that?
Being so incredibly confrontational, and I'm just.
You're being so incredibly confrontational.
I haven't heard anything.
They're having an exchange. She's just talking to the guy's kid, and he tries to steer it back to the adult, which is what it should be. Two adults having a discussion about gun rights. And she says you're being very confrontational.
The only confrontation I've heard so far has been from her bodyguard.
Bodyguard, you've got to step back.
Trying to have a
I am
conversation.
not. You know, I'm not.
Because to me, we have to bridge this divide.
Tell me when I can say.
Would you come on NRA
Tell me
TV?
when I can say something.
You're more than welcome.
Okay, what happened just there is the person said several times, "Would you be on NRA TV?" At that point, the bodyguards swoop in and start to whisk her away. And as she's being whisked, mid-whisk, she says, "If I had the time." Now, again, she may appear, she may not appear, but that's when they escorted her out.
There's no way she's appearing.
I can't imagine
There's
it.
no way
I can't
she's appearing.
imagine it. And
Cam Edwards would, in the most respectful, professional way,
and he said that on air. I appear in that show from time to time.
draw and quarter her.
Yeah. And what's so fascinating is that this was it's an elitist performance of epic proportions. You've got leaving with the bodyguards. You've got the bodyguards pushing people around, trying to kind of dominate the situation. You've got her trying to avoid the questions. You've got her saying it's a highly confrontational experience when everyone, we've got the video, not just the audio. And this was a tweet from maybe Ben Howe, I think it might have been. But it's so fascinating. Like, she's so caught up in this world, like, we can see you. We see what's happening. You can't spin this. We've got it right here. That's amazing to me.
It is fascinating because it shows truly how they just not only live in the bubble, they exist in the bubble.
They feed off it. And here's another thing. She says at the end, we need to kind of bridge the divide. Now, I love that. I want to hear more of that. But if you read the manifesto from NoRA, it's there's blood on your hands.
Yeah.
Well, how do you reach across the divide when you say that people have blood on their hands? This is what drives me
Particularly
crazy.
these lawful gun owners that are not committing crimes.
Exactly, and who would just want the NRA to represent them and their beliefs. I would give a lot of the celebrities more credit, more time, more attention if they didn't behave in that fashion. It's like any subject. If you can talk to me in reasonable debate, but if you say that I've got blood on my hands for believing X or Y and thinking the very worst of me, that just shuts things down. She doesn't want to bridge divides. She wants to keep the rhetoric going.
What's the short clip, actress with armed security?
I think that was the beginning, so I don't think we need to play that.
Oh,
I think
okay.
we kind of basically covered that.
Okay. Well, let's finish this real quickly.
You seem very. So now you're not going to talk to me. You just wanted to.
Would you come on NRA TV and talk to us about that?
Being so incredibly confrontational, and I'm just trying to have a conversation.
I am not. You know, I'm not.
Because to me, we have to bridge this divide.
That would be great. Would you come on NRA TV?
Tell me when I can say something.
You're more than welcome.
So, I'm all done, I guess.
That's it.
Thank you. So.
Now, if she were smart, she would go on NRA TV and state her case and have as many facts at her disposal, because she'd be reaching a whole new audience. Listen, if you're at a protest, everyone there is for your side. And listen, that serves a purpose. You could rally people, you get maybe signatures or even do a support a particular candidate. If you go into the belly of the beast, so to speak, you're going to maybe change a mind or two. Say, that Alyssa Milano, I respect her for going on that show, and I have to say she was pretty smart. Wouldn't that be the wise call?
Even if I didn't, I would respect her if she went on, even if she made a fool of herself.
I would give her
I would give her at least the credit for having walked into the lion's den.
That's what I've been arguing for weeks on this show and also my site, is that I think the celebrities just want to go the virtue signal. They just want to say, hey, I'm out here, I'm screaming, I'm yelling, I'm saying blood in the hands. they don't care about moving the needle, really. They need to feel better about themselves. Now, I don't think deep down they don't want change. I think they do want change. But it's fascinating that they must, you think that they'd realize on some level, hey, this isn't working. There's a guy in the White House who's the exact opposite of everything that we do and say. Maybe there's a reason why he's in the White House right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not everything about Trump, but it's...
To them, it is.
Yeah, but I think it's the culture where the elites are saying, hey, don't pay attention to them, you listen to us.
Right.
Speaks directly to what the appeal is for Donald Trump.
So my take on this is she did this for herself to get street cred with her fellow actors and actresses. Because she can say, I went to the NRA convention, I confronted some people, I preached to man, I delivered the sermon to them. And they're all going to applaud her, and they're all going to give her accolades. Yeah. And it was meaningless. Yeah. It was truly meaningless.
Yeah. But maybe it wasn't for her. Maybe she'll get a gig out of it. I don't know. I mean, I hate to think like that, but I just stop with the blood in your hands. If you want to have a debate, you can't start there. It's just.
I can't get over that she shows up. Now, I don't mind her showing up with a bodyguard wherever she goes. Although I have to admit, if Alyssa Milano walked in here, you'd have to tell me that's Alyssa Milano.
But she's recognized, for the most part, she's recognizable.
Right. But there are a lot of Hollywood actors and actresses that outside the big screen, unless they have a very, like Robert De Niro, you can't miss him. Unless, there are just some actors and actresses that you absolutely in public, even if they aren't wearing makeup or whatever else, you're going to know who they are. But there's this other tier of actors and actresses that can go shopping, they can go to the grocery store, and 90% of the American public is not going to have a clue.
And she could have said, hey, I've got a bodyguard here, but Fred, just stand back or just stay here and be quiet.
Right.
Anything happens, you're here.
Right. And in fact, if he's a good bodyguard, like the Secret Service are good bodyguards, they're not in your way.
Yeah.
But if you make the wrong move with your pinky, you lose the pinky.
Yes.
No, he was just there as brute force. You like fiddling?
I do.
Good. You like The View?
Love The View.
I do too. I love The View.
I need like a T-shirt.
Oh.
Can't get enough of The View. What would I say if I did like a homegrown T-shirt? What would I say? What would be the slogan?
I don't know. Christian Toto. I worship The View.
Your mind on The View. It's a terrible thing.
Oh. So I guess who's filling in for? I assume Megan's with her dad.
Yeah, and maybe that way for a while. We'll see. It might have been Amanda Carpenter, perhaps. I've seen her name attached to the show this week. I don't know if she was on this particular episode, though.
This clip you brought in, I haven't heard this one, but just from the title of it, I'm afraid I'm going to have
an allergic reaction.
Yeah, an allergic reaction.
More so than usual, or just the usual kind?
Who's the main driver of this point? We're just kind of.
I think it might be Whoopi.
Seriously?
I think she
because of the topic.
I think she delivers the haymaker. That's my sense.
And that'll make sense when you understand the topic. Are you ready?
Yeah. By the way, I often don't listen to the clips. I hear enough of the synopsis, and I want to share. I want to live it here.
Oh, well, we're living it here, baby. We're living it here.
This is what Trump does. Anything that reflects favorably on him, true or not, he's going to hold it up and say, look, I'm winning the black vote. And it's up to us to have to explain it constantly. Welcome to the Trump train.
You know what that's called? The big lie. It's been used.
Whoa. Isn't that the Holocaust? I've heard the term the big lie. That's a pretty heavy thing to say about someone. And by the way, every politician does that. If you're in office.
Right.
Oh, anyone. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not going to name Obama specifically, although I'm sure he did too. If you're a politician and you're in office and something good happens, chances are you might take a little credit for it.
Yeah.
In other dictatorships.
Other.
Other dictatorships.
This is Hitler. This is Hitler as Trump. Trump is Hitler.
Wow.
I mean, the lack of this disconnect is amazing here.
I noticed when I left the house today that there were The Stasi. The
That's
Stasi
right.
was out in the street.
Yeah. By the way, the fact that Joy Behar on a nationally syndicated show can say it's a dictator and nothing happens to her
means
right. She's not a dictator.
Right. Yeah. In fact, it's not even state-run TV, even though they think they're state-run. Or there's
Keep lying and lying and lying.
the SEALs were out in Fort Worth.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who go along with it.
That's right.
But if it's true, the premise is somehow that Trump has done so much for the African American community, and I just don't see it.
I don't think anybody in.
Wait, before we go on, so black unemployment is at historic record lows. Black employment is at record historic highs. Shh. Oh, yeah, that's right. Don't say that.
Don't bring facts in the discussion. This is The View.
Okay.
Their right mind
would
can
think that.
point to anything.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you have some conservative commentators, some pundits saying that yes, that the unemployment rate is lower now in the African American community, which really is the same under Obama, of course.
Well, though,
No, it's not.
No.
What a stupid fudge. So she knows the fact. She has to bring it up. I'm not sure who that was. Wasn't Whoopi. But she has to kind of do this whole. I mean, she did like a Charlie Brown. No, it's not.
No.
It's at a historic low. It wasn't under Obama.
Right.
Because then it would have been a historic low under Obama.
Right.
Or it's lower now.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't even what it was.
Trump's that, but doesn't mean we have to endorse every other thing.
No, we can't give him that. The economy.
We can't give him that. How infantile.
We can't give him that fact. We can't give him the fact.
It has been getting better
community.
For the last, I don't know.
And it got suddenly better after Barack Obama left the White House.
It didn't get suddenly better. What are you talking about?
Sure, it did. There was the Trump bump that happened as soon as Donald Trump came in. The stock market went crazy. Some people were even saying this is so good it's going to crash soon.
No.
Doesn't it always?
No.
I'm learning so much. I need a scratch pad and a pencil to kind of get this all down.
Now I need to call my broker because apparently The View has said they're giving stock market advice. Oh my God!
No, it always. I mean, it always bumps with a new president, but he didn't.
Is that true?
No,
I don't know that. I don't have the facts there, but that doesn't sound like something that's true.
No, and in fact, when Reagan came in, it took Reagan much longer to get to 3.9% GDP growth than it's taken Trump to do so. And that's because things were so bad under Carter that there had to be some systemic changes. Now, there were systemic changes made by Trump also, but I think there was also this huge attitudinal change. We're for small business. We're anti-regulation. We want to free people up to, go do whatever they want to do. And I think that just getting out from under the Obama constraints is what caused the market to soar, unemployment to drop.
When I'm on your show, when I'm on my blog, I try to talk about stuff that I know about or have a good feel for. I'm not always right, I'm sure. I'm giving opinions often. I don't just throw things out there that I have no clue about because it'll make me feel better or it'll make my side win. That's exactly what Whoopi Goldberg is doing right now.
Well,
isn't
you
she?
and I are both in the same position because you on air and on the blog and me on air. The last thing I want to do is, and frankly, we find it embarrassing when we get hoodwinked by a story.
Yeah.
Or I totally misread something. That's why people tell me I'm crazy for spending as much time as I do on show prep. But it's like, okay, but for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah. I got to get there. That's what when I talked to Meghan McCain, she said she did a lot of show prep.
Yeah, you don't want to make a fool of yourself.
This is.
And he didn't bring anything new.
Corporate America knew that they were going to take the stranglehold of regulation off them. They knew that Republicans were intent on changing the tax code, and so they made a lot of investment based on that. There was a change, and that was because of the new administration.
I disagree, but that's okay.
Does he care?
I have no facts.
Well
I just
said.
disagree. That's okay.
Game, set, match, Whoopi.
Yeah, move on. I just disagree. So that's the end. That's the final word.